about to just finish up converting my T5 cable clutch to a hydraulic clutch. I figured I may as well show you what's involved and what I've used to make it happen. So there's been a bit of trial and error, but I've finally sorted it out. So what I use for this conversion to make it easy, because the VS Commodore Series 3 actually came out with the G-Trag 5-speed box, so that was obviously a hydraulic clutch, and that is actually a direct bolt in for the VR. So the replacement of the pedal box is pretty straightforward. There was basically 2 bolts that came through the firewall where the clutch cable was. And then there's 2 studs on the brake booster that come through the firewall and have 2 M8 nuts on there, so you have to take them out. So that's 4 in total. And then up here there's an M8 nut, I think, holding on a wiring loom clip. That was to be taken off. And then up here, this one, there's just a stud with a nut on it as well, which is up under the steering wheel assembly. So yeah, the standard clutch master cylinder is a 3/4 inch bore, or 19.05 or something mil, and the standard slave for the G-Trag box is a 22 mil. I'm not sure what that converts to in imperial, but yeah, I don't like the bolt pattern on this for the application that I wanted to use it for. So the first thing I tried out, I saw this VL Commodore clutch slave cylinder with these 2 bolt holes, which will actually mount it hard against the gearbox, but as I later realised, this did not have enough throw. So that is the same bore as that, but it only gave me about 15 maximum of throw, so that was no good. So after doing my research, I thought I'd better try a smaller bore so I get more travel on the actual clutch slave. So what I got here, it's a Ford slave cylinder from a early model XR, I think. When I plumbed this in and bled it, this gave me about 25.5 mil of play, so that is exactly what I wanted. Get a better look at what's going on. Okay, so I've changed the setup a little bit just to make it a lot more user-friendly for myself, and I've also changed the cruddy old plastic reservoir for a nice billet aluminium one. This, I think I picked it up for like 30 bucks on eBay. I've also opted, instead of using the factory hard lines and rubber line sections, I've actually opted to go for a -3 speed flow line, as you can see here, which makes connection and assembly a lot quicker. And so hopefully this will come out, but you can see from factory this T5 on the Commodore is normally a cable clutch, which the cable hooks on here and comes through this eyelet here and then goes up to the pedal linkage through the firewall. So what I've actually done is fabricated up this bracket, which I'll show some shots of in better quality later on, but as you can see, this bracket, nice and squishy under here, this bracket is bolted to the driver's side, the right hand side of the vehicle. The 2 bell housing bolts, top and bottom, so it's a sandwich between them with a nice big washer. And then I've also done a little outrigger kind of stiffening plate, which has bolted onto this. I'm not sure what it's for on the gearbox, but it had a it would have been about a 10mm hole in it, so I've just tapped some M10 threads in it and just screwed this bolt in with a bit of Loctite so it doesn't come out. Before I actually removed the cable clutch completely, I actually marked the amount of throw that I needed and was getting with the cable. So you can see there, it measures about 25mm. So when it comes to bleeding, it's the same principle as your car brakes normally. This is how I've set it up. I've actually brought the slave cylinder higher than the master cylinder, the inlet here, but lower than the reservoir. So any bubbles are going to want to travel upwards and then upwards again along the drain back into the reservoir. Alright, so just under the car, I've just bled the slave cylinder up in the engine bay like I showed you. So I'm just going to mock it up and mark where the holes are going to be tapped. I can add these 10mm bolts and Bob's your uncle. So as you can see here, it's just sitting here. One thing I will note that you'll have to do is, hopefully you can see this, I had to drill a slight depression in the clutch fork where the actual slave cylinder's push rod is going to be located. It's just basically just to stop it slipping out as it's pushing, and it also gives it a little spherical area to pivot in as it goes through its range of motion. So I'll be putting molybdenum disulfite grease on that just to stop it squeaking in the future. That gets located there. I'm just going to mark these 2 holes, take it off the gearbox for the last time, drill and tap the holes, and that's it. What if I wanted to fight? So I've roughly marked it with a pencil. There wasn't much room, but I've just gone through with the verniers and got the exact bolt centers just to make sure it's 100%. So I'm just going to mark them out now.
Which time?
Alright, so the only thing left to do is get your thread tapper, like I said, M10 by 1.5. It's always crucial when starting these to make sure that it is going in true into the hole. So once it starts, you can feel it biting there. It's always good for every 1 or 2 turns, back it out another turn or half a turn to clear the threads. Also, it wouldn't hurt putting some kind of grease or penetrating oil on the tap as you do this. That will also help it cut nicely. But this soft alloy, it's not too crucial. So once you get to the end, you can actually feel it will just twist down very nicely, and that's it. So same again on the other hole and you're done. Alright, so I've just finished bolting it up. That's what the finished product looks like. I guess there's only one thing left to do, and actually get in the car with the wheels jacked up and see where the friction point's at. Alright, so yeah, the pedal feel, it feels great, to be honest. It's not too soft, not too heavy. Yeah, I'm 100% happy with it. It's exactly what I was aiming for, and I am running a pretty heavy duty clutch. It's a custom made one. I think it's about a 1500 kilo clamp force pressure plate and a ceramic 6-puck extreme clutch disc. So it's not the most pedal friendly clutch, but it's the thing that holds the power, so that's it. Alright, so I'll chuck it in gear and we'll see. You can see here, the wheels are just starting to spin now. So that's a good maybe 50 mil off the floor. Job well done, I think.